Live from the Toad Hop Network studios.
In Hollywood, this is the ToadHopNetwork.com.
It is strongly addictive.
Radio worth watching.
Radio worth watching.
It's Schmo time. Welcome one, welcome all to the Schmoes Know Movies podcast on the Toad Hop Network. So good to be back in town and podcasting with you guys once again. My name is Mark Ellis. My co-pilot, my compatriot, my comrade is Christian Harloff, and he is nowhere to be found in the studio. He is, him and his wife and his lovely baby, their names escape me, are on a plane to New York. They actually landed a couple hours ago. Yeah. They got in safely. So Christian is not going to be here for our big Hobbit Christmas movie Apocalyptic Bonanza podcast. However, before you start crying, wipe away those tears because we have some great guests in studio. As always, we are going to be joined by our producer, Ken Knapsack.
That's right, back again.
Kenny, back again.
It was a close one.
That whistling was not that of Josh the intern. Josh is here. Josh is going to be around. He's going to be chiming in when we get things wrong. He's going to be keeping our blood alcohol at a solid 0.05 the whole podcast. And that sexy birdie, that rockin' Robin with the crazy pink hair. It's just another girl with pink hair on the podcast.
Just another one, right?
She is not just another one. She is the star
making me feel so cheap.
of Rotten Tomatoes, ladies and gentlemen. She does the Sirius XM, the Rotten Tomatoes show. She is Miss Rotten Tomatoes herself, the one, the only Miss Grae Drake.
Tweedly-dee. Tweedly-dee-dee-dee. I love that you guys have beer here. It is so exciting to me.
Yeah. She just lit up even more than she naturally is. I mean, beer, yes. Plop, purse in the corner, sat down, said, "Beer me, Josh the intern, beer me."
I did, and then I kicked him in the ass on the way out of the door.
That's what interns are here for, okay? If you want to treat them like Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh and just nail a tail on the back, dude, that's what we're here. That's why we provide you with interns and Miller Lite.
Oh my God bless you guys. I mean, what a week. What a week. The holidays are coming up, and I needed a beer so badly. This is what I was missing in my life. It wasn't you, Mark Ellis. I thought it was you, but it wasn't. It was alcohol.
The one week that Christian's out of town and I got to take care of the guests and all that stuff, there's a reason why I brought in Grae. Now, Josh, keep pumping that keg, all right? I want this to feel like an evil college frat party. Can somebody bring in a pinball machine in the corner? Grae, I'm really happy that you're here.
Sexy.
This is the first time we've had Grae here in the new studio.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
This is amazing what you guys have done. You built yourselves up from nothing.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's been a celebration in 2012 of the Schmoes podcast becoming something, because at the beginning of this year, it was like we do it in Christian's office, which we can't do it anymore because now that's a nursery.
All right.
And then we moved to like a small office space. Then we moved to a dingy comedy club. And now we're here at an actual podcast studio.
A dingy comedy club?
It was a dingy.
It's a dingy comedy club?
No, it's a comedy club on the sea.
Oh, okay.
No, let me tell you how nice this place is. You guys hopefully have not been inside the ladies' restroom, but I went.
Well, you don't know how much we drink on these shows.
I'm not going to assume anything, but in my stall in the restroom, really heavy, lovely doors. Also, in the stall, it was so big that there was a wooden chair in there. And I got so weirded out by it because it was directly facing the toilet.
Yeah, wow.
I was
This is true.
Oh my God, it's so true that I said, not to be revealed too much about what goes on in the bathroom, but I mean,
Wait, girls have to go to the bathroom?
I was told differently growing up.
I was told that was powdering your nose, nothing more.
I'm violating all of my lady rules right now.
But so it seems like you're in the movie Sinister, and you go into a stall, and there's a box of home movies, and we don't know what's happening.
It's like the chair is going to follow me now, wherever I go.
It's like some dusty old author's going to come in and just put a pipe up and sit down and open up a book and look at you.
Right?
Chapter 1.
I'm not even paying attention to you, Missy. I'm reading my Jack London stories.
Listen, I'm only going to be creeped out by that guy if he's not wearing corduroy patches on his elbows.
Exactly.
If he has them, we're all good.
Because if you're a student at a college, you know.
Yeah, I am.
Patches mean a tenured professor, and he can get away with murder if he so chooses.
And that means that if I don't get an A, then I could try really hard next time.
Well, something that I have never gotten an A in, however, everybody else on this damn show seems to, is Lord of the Rings knowledge. We did a Lord of the Rings podcast a couple weeks ago, and we had Tiffany Smith in here, who's a Lord of the Rings expert.
Yes.
We had Mark Riley. We had Josh McCouga. They're both huge fans. Christian is a huge fan.
Yes.
I like the movies a lot, and I'm really excited going to see The Hobbit a couple weeks ago. Okay?
Absolutely.
And so this is how the show's going to kind of shake out here, guys. For the first hour of our 2-hour extravaganza, we are talking The Hobbit. We're going to talk about we're going to delve into the movie pretty deeply, so there will be some light spoilers. We're not going to give away too much.
We're not?
I don't know. Let me say, I will not give away too much.
Okay.
So anger all of your hatred towards Grae and Kenny and the intern and Jeff the producer, if there's any left over.
I don't know how you can have that conversation at this point and not spoil. And I know, Josh, Jeff, you haven't seen it. Yeah, sorry. But, you know, we got to do some spoiling tonight, so be warned.
Welcome to our spoiler-heavy Hobbit podcast. And then after that first hour, we are going to be talking, because it's the Christmas season, and this is the last podcast we're doing before Christmas. I love Christmas movies. I like talking. I think I like talking about them even more than I like watching them. And since, especially all those people on the East Coast, this podcast is going to be taking place while the clock strikes midnight, and I'm not talking about striking midnight like Scrooge, where he's going to see a ghost. We're talking midnight on the Mayan apocalypse eve.
The end.
If you want to talk about some apocalyptic movies coming up in the second half, we can certainly do that as well.
Oh, I can't wait, because I just get off on the apocalypse so much. Like, I love it.
Say that again slower.
It's such a played out thing at this point that I didn't even want to. Kenny and I were talking about it. I don't even want to give the Mayans that much credit. Like, I don't want to devote a full hour of podcasting to this stupid ancient thing from a civilization that's not even around anymore to claim it.
That we're pretty sure ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
Pretty sure. We don't know.
I'm going to be on a flight at midnight, by the way. This midnight,
so
I'm going to
silly.
be on a flight.
You're foolish. Where are you going? Are you going to Mexico?
I could be going to the Bermuda Triangle. The Mayans are the pilot.
Well, it's going to be like a bad NBC serial drama. You're going to land and everyone's going to be dead. It's just going to be you and those on the plane.
That's
Sundays
right.
at 8 o'clock.
Right.
Hey, you know what? If it's just me on the world, that means I will never have to wait for a table at Chili's.
Absolutely.
Call us in here. You can call the show. We want to hear your thoughts not only on The Hobbit, and then a little bit later in the second hour, some Christmas apocalypse movies. Call us at Toad Hop 323-622-8623, and you can tweet us as always at Schmoes Know. So, guys, The Hobbit has come and gone. It made a crap load of money its first weekend, more than a lot of projections, because everybody thought it was a longer movie. Maybe it won't have as many screenings. The thing crushed at the box office, around $85 million its opening weekend.
That's just domestic.
Yeah.
That's just domestic.
That's just domestic.
That's just domestic. So
when we talking international, we talk about them all bling bling. What's wrong with me?
I don't know. I think we left Grae in the bathroom with the creepy chair, and somebody else came out here.
Shut up, Grae.
Alternate Grae.
Jesus.
So I was a huge fan of The Hobbit. I'll open with that. Is that Christian and I saw the film. We saw it in a foursome. We had me and Christian, and we were flanked by Mark Riley and Tiffany Smith. Now, as I mentioned, Tiffany Smith is she's great on the show, and she loves. How much does she love?
She has an elvish tattoo on her right forearm that says something about Peter Jackson is God, something like that.
Not an elvish
Light
tattoo.
in a dark world, I believe is what it says.
Yeah, it's not like she has one of Santa's helpers on her. No, it's something written in Elvish, which, by the way, is a language that's not real. So it's not like you're going to Amsterdam and they know what you're talking about.
Listen, in my kitchen, in my apartment, in Studio City, I have one of those lovely wooden plaques that says, gas, grass, or ass, no one drives for free in Klingon.
Perfect. But see, when Grae Drake
Tiffany Smith, you have been out nerded.
When Grae Drake or Tiffany Smith does that, it's like, that's adorable. If I do that, you do that, you and me write some Star Wars prophecy on our walls, we're like,
you can kiss pussy goodbye.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Might as well just move in with my mom and dad again.
If I have a plaque that says ass, gas, or grass, I better have gas or grass, because nobody is going to be giving me any ass if I have something written in Klingon above my kitchen. But so we're watching The Hobbit, and you never know what's going on in other people's minds when you're watching the movie, especially with the 3D glasses, and you're so sucked into this world for damn near 3 hours. I walked out of it. I loved the movie. I thought it was a great adventure. We saw it in 48 frames. I enjoyed the 48 frames. I had a bit of an in because my TV, for whatever reason, plays movies in 48 frames at home.
Whoa.
So even if I want to turn it off, I don't know how to yet.
You're used to it.
And so
How long have you had it?
About September, maybe.
Oh, that's too long.
August. So
right. You're
I
indoctrinated.
had a little bit in there. I'm in pre-med, as it it were. And then Christian said he liked it, but he thought the 48 frames really bothered him. Then we talked to Mark Riley and Tiffany Smith. Again, these are the two experts we're seeing the film with. They were very lukewarm on it.
Right.
And so I thought maybe...
They are the correct ones. You were wrong.
I'm the wrong one.
Here we go.
You are.
Here we go.
Okay.
It's begun.
Then, Grae, let's have your opinion. I gave The Hobbit 4.75 out of 5 schmoes.
No shit.
I thought it was a fantastic adventure. I love the guy who played Bilbo and Gandalf. You get to see all these classic
Martin
guys
Freeman,
that you know from The Lord of the Rings. You get to see them back again, and it's another great adventure.
What happened in the middle? Like, did you fall asleep or get a hand job in the middle? Is that why you liked it so much?
I used the restroom.
Oh, was there a chair in it?
Ernest Hemingway Jr. staring at you, reading The Hobbit?
You had to use the restroom because the movie's long. Here's my problem with it. I saw it in 48 frames, projected at Warner Brothers, because silly me thought that if anybody was going to project it right, it was the studio that made the film.
Right.
Well, yeah, and you're a big star. You can walk onto the Warner Brothers lot, and they're like, "That's great."
Listen, they know me by name.
Damn right they do.
I don't hand over my driver's license. Somebody asks for it, they're fired immediately. Okay.
She rappels down from the tower, the water tower.
Pretty much.
I'm
naked.
here.
Totally naked. And then if
Tango, we got Grae here, and she wants a Miller Lite. What do we got in stock?
And then I basically have somebody that just follows behind me and goes, "Do not look Grae Drake directly in the eyes," is what they say. And so I was wrong. I was wrong about Warner Brothers projecting the movie correctly, because I have heard since. Now, this is how they showed it to critics in the first wave of screenings, is all 48 frames. People saw it afterwards in high frame rate, and they said it looked leagues better, right? So
people were on board with the 48 frames.
they hated it when they saw it at Warner Brothers, and they loved it when they saw it in like Podunk Nowheresville.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Warner Brothers has failed us. So everything that I'm about to say is based on the fact that my opinion is colored from, not a racist statement, guys. It's colored from the fact that I saw it projected poorly in 48 frames. It really changed my entire experience.
This is why, if we're having this conversation at a bar, this is why everybody's ordering an extra round, because everybody has to qualify the way they saw this movie. Which is hysterical to me. It's like you can't just go in and say, "Hey, did you like this? Did you not like it?"
Well, I saw it in this frame rate with these glasses and IMAX.
Do you know what it is? Do you know what it just causes? It's almost like a hole in my heart right now, because I love Lord of the Rings, and I've just recently accepted the fact that I'm a total Lord of the Rings nerd. Okay,
Yeah.
I love it. It makes me happy. I remember every bit of it, and when I rewatched it, it was every bit as fucking good as it was the first time I saw it. And then I had high hopes, and I went into this. I hated it. I hated it.
Have you seen the Hobbit since the Warner Brothers experience? So you haven't been back. I trust you because you're a professional at this. You're really good. People like you. I've seen you on TV when I'm jogging at the gym. That's right.
Ooh.
I work out. And so I trust that even if you're not in the ideal viewing situation, you can still figure out if a movie's good or not.
Right. Thank you.
Because
for that vote of confidence.
when you watch a movie and there's people talking in front of you, somebody's checking their phone, it takes me out of the movie, and it makes me dislike the movie a little bit more. I haven't been able to control that hulking out yet. And Grae her skin does not appear to turn green easily, so you just didn't like the movie.
It would clash with my hair if my skin turned green. Yeah, I didn't like it, and I thought a lot about it, and I was so disappointed by the movie. It really, I had to sit down and reflect on it, and because I just wanted to like it so much, and I want it to be so good. And I've fucking been to New Zealand. I've been to Weta. I love that place. I've been to Hobbiton. I've been there. I love it. It means so much to me. And this movie was a failure.
Wow.
It was a failure. And I just was so upset. And I wonder if I would feel differently about it had I seen it 24 frames.
Yeah.
That's the big question.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is this brought my world to a crashing halt. You should have seen my face after the screening. I looked like my puppy had just fucking died. Because, I felt like I had this beautiful stack of golden buttermilk pancakes in front of me, and then a dwarf just took a shit on it. Right in front of my face. And I just...
Well, that's not anything you'd want to eat.
Exactly,
Yeah,
Mark.
that's disgusting. Now let's bring in Kenny, because it seems like Grae and I are on polar opposites, so you may have to break up the mud wrestling that ensues in the second half.
I'm a huge Hobbit fan, Lord of the Rings fan too. I can tell this because when people in my family or circles of friends come to me for advice, I always end it with, what does your heart tell you? Like, I'm that guy. Like, so I went in with kind of the same high expectations, and I had to go see it 48 frames because the debate, that's the debate right now.
Yeah.
So I rolled out of bed at like 7 a.m. to go over to the Grove to see it at 9:40 a.m. The place wasn't even open. I had to wait for 20 minutes to get my glasses.
Wow.
Like it was a ride. It was me and this other dude.
long being interrogated as to whether you are a pedophile minutes.
Yeah. Who sees a movie on a Wednesday at 9:30 a.m.? And I'm like, can I have my glasses now? I'd like to, and I of course, you have to choose your seats, and I chose the back row by myself.
Good man.
So I went in high expectations, and I got to say, I'm kind of come down in between. There's a lot that I love about the movie, a lot about some of the things that happen. However, when an hour into the movie, I was checking work email for a job I hate. When 2 Saturdays ago, I watched all extended editions at home from 3 p.m. to 3 a.m. and never stopped. That tells me something just intrinsically is wrong about what was on the screen.
Or that there's something intrinsically wrong with you, but we can spin
That's
this
a given.
towards the Hobbit if you want.
That's a given.
So I'm going to tell you that I loved everything about the movie. The biggest problem that I have, the reason why I knocked off that quarter schmo from it being a perfect score for me, is the ending.
Big sacrifice.
And since everybody knows that we're going to talk about the ending on this show.
The ending? Oh, I'm sorry. You mean the shit they tacked on after the movie should have ended? Is that what you mean by ending? That fucking bullshit that you see when the movie ends and then, oh my God, they're doing something else? Haven't we seen enough, Peter Jackson? Can't you end this madness?
The tree scene was cool. You know, and I like that battle scene, but then they're falling, and then our out is these eagles, these goddamn eagles. Okay, let me tell you something about eagles. But this goes back to the original
this is from a
trilogy
Redskin
too.
fan, so be careful.
Yeah, I hate the Philadelphia Eagles. I respect the eagle as a sign of American freedom, but I also say that the Eagles being very finicky as to when it wants to help out these little people.
Right.
We've been going through this huge adventure. You can stand on the eagle, and it can fly it to your goddamn home, and we can be done with this whole thing in 15 minutes. And they refuse to. Somebody has to explain it. But you can say the same thing about going to Mordor in the first 3 movies. Is that why couldn't the Eagles hop on? Josh is shaking his head no. Josh, the intern, come on in here.
Get in.
All right. I could actually buy it in the first one because you got to remember Mordor was still standing when those eagles would have went in and had a giant eye.
Yeah.
Would have saw those eagles, he would have shot down.
You're talking tactics.
I'm talking Lord
Eagle
of the Rings,
tactics.
yeah. So like,
But I'm not saying you got to fly them over the volcano and drop it in, but you can fly them closer. There's a couple mountains in the way.
Yeah, you know what? This is what I think, man. I think eagles are just fucking superior. I think that they're asshole birds. I think that they decide what they want to do when they want to do it. And you know what? At the end of this movie, they decided that they wanted to drop this nice group of dwarves that have been through a lot onto a tiny little platform that's very hard to climb down from. And they just so they could see the mountain.
There you go.
Just look at it. And then, go ahead and talk to each other for a while. We're going to fly away and just let you look at your destination. To quote the Big Lebowski, gentlemen, I hate the fucking Eagles.
Well, I'll second that, yeah.
I tweeted after leaving the movie, I said, how nice of the Eagles to drop the dwarves and the Hobbit off 2 movies away from their location. And then I got hammered because I have never read The Hobbit. I apologize. Read a lot of other books. And apparently in the book, the Eagles are like, we ain't going that far. It's a little dangerous. Going back to your tactics theory on the Eagles, the Eagles, I guess, are just...
It's out of their way. Okay, but the Eagles could have showed up 15 minutes earlier. Wouldn't we all agree? But like the tree's dangling by its last twig. And
like that drama.
Here they come.
Here's the thing that's starting to show in The Hobbit, the fact that Peter Jackson, I was on board with Peter Jackson being able to make as many movies as Peter Jackson wanted to make for this.
In Peter we trust. He is if filmmaking is a bird, then he is a eagle. He's one of those eagles.
He is a superior, smug bastard of an eagle.
Yeah, came in. He Leno'd Guillermo del Toro out of the project. you know? So
that's awesome. So I trusted him, and I no longer have trust because
it's all gone.
Wow.
What started to happen in The Hobbit, I think, because it read like an extended edition. Okay, it looked like he had put things in that normally, with his wits about him and without a money grab, he would have taken out. Okay,
right.
when he put those things in and made this movie 3 hours long, it's really started to show that this is thin screenwriting. And it pains me to say such a thing because I think that these 3 people that are responsible for these films are the best people for the job. And it makes me sad. It makes me really sad to say that. But it's like, how many times can you dangle a tiny person off something high?
It was on our website.
Well, there are 14 of them.
Right. Right.
At least 14.
None of them are of sure
14
foot.
times.
They're not going out there with Under Armour cleats. I mean, they're precarious mountains, Grae. You can slip.
On our website, schmoesknow.com, one of our writers, Joe Ruggiero, put a great article out today about his...
He was our intern for a brief time.
He was our intern. He's feuding with Josh, the intern, of course.
You're my guy.
Joe's column was titled "Joe Writes Words Now in 48 Frames of Hate," and he but he brought up the point that it was a very lather, rinse, repeat story going on there.
Yes.
Trouble, dangling, saved. Trouble, dangling, saved. It just kind of kept going. And
Here's someone famous, here's someone else famous to make you forget about
mean,
and it relied too much on you liking the previous 3.
Guess when dangling people off of things stopped working?
Michael Jackson dangling that baby.
Cliffhanger.
Spider-Man franchise. Mic drop.
Oh, okay. That's pretty good. Yeah, but he is a web, so I mean, if you can shoot webs, you should be dangling. If I could shoot webs, I'd be dangling bitches left and right, man. I'd be having them. Oh, you still don't want to go to prom?
It's like all the villains in the world of Spider-Man had a meeting, and they said, "Hey, just grab the chick that he likes and then hang her off some high shit, and you're really gonna get this guy mad."
Dude likes girls. Dude likes girls.
He does. That's his weakness.
Josh, I don't know about you. I would pay $20 to see the Ken Knapsack Grae Drake comedy tour. Coming to a comic book shop near you.
Absolutely. Book it. We'll have a Twitter feed next week.
Grae only wants her credits read in Klingon when she comes You guys are crushing this podcast so far. And again, Schmoeville, make sure we're going to take some of your calls after we come back from break. And you guys are tweeting in like mad as always. The big thing that Christian had walking out of the movie was that he wasn't happy with the character development because and when you look at it just as a single film, you really don't get to know Bilbo that well either. We know more about Bilbo because because you guys have read the books. I've seen the first 3 movies.
We haven't read the books.
Okay, so we all knew what we knew from the first trilogy going in. We knew, hey, that's that guy. He's really nice and sweet. Then he sees the ring and he gets a little, Reagan from The Exorcist.
Right.
But nobody else really got that explored. It's like any character that you did feel a connection to, I think, was maybe because of the first 3 movies. Having said that, there are 3 movies that were made, and that's the hand that you're dealt. So you don't have to I don't think people can have it both ways. People get upset when the Amazing Spider-Man comes out, and you're telling the same story.
Yes.
You're reintroducing us Peter Parker when we already know the guy, and then you say, oh well, the only reason we know any of these people from The Hobbit is because of the first 3 movies. So which way do you want it? Which way do you want your bread buttered?
It's tough because
left to right.
You're like I said, you got the hand you dealt with. You have 14 people in this fellowship, so to speak. Where last time we had 7, 8, 9, smaller numbers. So as again, going back to Joe's article today on schmoesknow.com, he puts out, Thorin, Bilbo, and the rest by their beard styles. You couldn't name, Fluffy, Biffo, Harpo. It was just it, and I get it. And sometimes maybe I hate to say this, maybe the source material for this wasn't as good as Lord of the Rings. And I shoot me.
All right, so you're pinning it on Tolkien,
right?
Yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah.
This could have.
If you're J.R.R. Tolkien, go ahead and call into the. Oh, what? He's dead? Oh, you're kidding.
Maybe his estate could call it. But hey, it was his first book.
J.R.R. Tolkien is in the woman's bathroom right now, sitting on a sitting in a wooden chair.
That's why I was so upset.
Right.
Oh my God, that's it.
So yeah, the source material was just The Hobbit, which was one book.
It was his first, trip into that world.
And the appendices. I mean, so it's like this could have. Here's what I think. I think that Peter Jackson has miscalculated. I think that this would have been the world's coolest 3.5 hour long movie. Period. Done. We're done now. And but instead it's this stretch. And the only reason that I know dwarves apart from each other, besides the fact that I did a dwarf character guide available on RottenTomatoes.com, is the fact that Oin, the apothecary.
What's he look like?
Oh, him.
That's not the older tough gray dude?
It is. He's one of the gray dudes. Okay.
Was he the guy that he looked like he was
He
like
kind of looked like the president in Star Trek 6.
you had me at president and you lost me at Star Trek 6. Yeah, he was like the ass kicker. Like you believe he was an ass kicker in another generation,
right?
Like Michael Caine as Alfred in Burma in the Batman.
Yeah. There's a smushy gray guy who has like kind of Brady thingies.
Yeah.
It's not
Not
that
him.
one. It's the other one. He has kind of a big nose and he's very intense eyes.
Yeah.
The only reason I know him is because he wanted to kiss me on the mouth in real life.
Whoa! All right, you were just whining
that.
and
Those
dining.
exclusive.
She had. I think some guy named Jean-Claude Van Damme took a liking to Grae earlier. So you're knocking off one by one
Well,
the people that I want to
She's
meet.
a heartbreaker.
We're going to have the Heartbreaker back on here in a minute. We're going to take a break in just a second, Schmoeville. We want you guys to call, and we're going to take some Schmoeville calls. We're going to read some of your tweets. And our favorite game to play, Tweet a Celebrity,
It's
ladies
back.
and gentlemen.
We teased it so much last week, but we're going to get to it tonight.
We're going to tweet a celebrity. It's where you guys think, or we come up with a celebrity, then you guys tweet the hell out of them and tell them they need to come on the Schmoes Know Podcast show. Speaking of, we'll be right back after this break.
Hello, filthy hobbitses. Gollum. You are listening to the Schmoes Know Podcast and the Toad Hop Network. Precious. Christian and Mark may know movies, but they're wicked, tricksy foes. And now, back to the masters.
Well, it sounds like somebody upset Smeagol a little bit, and it wasn't this guy, because I'm sitting here defending, and I got Josh the intern telling me that he liked the Hobbit movie too. But man, Gollum seemed pissed off at Kenny and our very special guest, Grae Drake, from Rotten Tomatoes. Is that what is that music?
From Charlie Brown.
That's from Charlie Brown? Okay. He threw me off with the Home Alone to kick the show off.
What is wrong with
I
you?
have a lot of stuff spinning around in my head.
My name's Mark. I like talking about Christmas movies, maybe more than watching them.
I will tell you why I'm not that familiar with Charlie Brown's Christmas on the other side of this show. Okay. If we make it that far,
If we make it.
that is the 12 o'clock hour on the East Coast. Welcome back to the Schmoes Know Movies podcast on the Toad Hop Network. We are joined by our very special guest from Rotten Tomatoes, Grae Drake. Josh the intern's here, Jeff the producer, Kenny Knapsack, our producer, and I am Mark Ellis. Let's all say hi to Christian. He's in New York.
That's
Christian, hi.
What's up, baby maker?
He has done that. He is one for one right out of the gate. I'm very excited to deliver this news to Schmoeville myself because we have a new sponsor, guys. We have Movie Pass. Movie Pass is this thing. You can go to MoviePass.com right now. Even better, you can go to MoviePass.com/Schmoes Know. Listen to this. So if you're a big star like Grae Drake, okay, or even a regional celebrity like a Mark Ellis or a Christian Harloff, we finally have broken down the doors into getting in to see movies for free. We realize not everybody has that opportunity,
right?
But now you have a great way to save a lot of money and see every movie you want to see with Movie Pass. You sign up, okay, and it's a monthly thing. It's around $30 a month, and when you pay that, you can see a movie one time a day for every day. You can see up to 31 movies if the month is 31 days.
What's the theater distribution like? How do they do the theater thing?
What you do is you sign up for your Movie Pass, and by the way, this is not open to the public yet. This is a special pre-order for Schmoes Know fans that go and do it. I used it. I went to go see Lincoln again last week.
Nice.
Because I'm 90 years old.
Yeah.
And
what? You saw that for a second time?
I had a phosphate and a popped corn, and I watched Abraham. And
we need to talk about getting you some laid.
Yeah, well, then, hey, Josh, when you talk about getting Grae another beer, well, we're on that conversation.
We need to make that happen. Okay, anyway.
So the theater distribution is great because you just go on there and it tells you every theater that's available, and it's not one of those things where you get a coupon to go see the Oogie Loves movie. You can see virtually everything. I could see everything that was playing in that theater. I had my choice what I wanted to see.
Wow.
And
$30.
$30 a month, and you can see one movie a day for the entire. You show up, you swipe your Movie Pass card at the kiosk like it's a credit card, and then it prints out your ticket, and it's as easy as that. So you go to www.moviepass.com/Schmoes Know, and you sign up. Here, Grae, model the card. Check that out.
Movie Pass.
There you go. It's like one of Bob's beauties.
By the way, honey, nobody needs to say www anymore.
Watch this. Go to World Wide Web. Honey,
just so you know.
The web TV's broken. And you can also...
I never go anywhere without my movie pass.
Look at that. And if you act right now, we'll throw in Grae Drake for free. She'll come to your house.
I will. And if you throw me $5 and I'll shut up.
That's right. That's right. You make it makes a great Christmas gift too. I'm going to take my mom to go see Les Mis. I'm going to drop my mom off to see Les Mis. I'm going to do other stuff than watch people sing and dance again for 2 hours. So that's movie pass.
because you have such discerning taste seeing Lincoln for a second time.
I love Lincoln too.
Listen, it's a good movie, but I mean 2 times.
Spoiler alert: the 13th Amendment gets passed. Okay. So we are talking about the Hobbit today, and before we get back into all the Hobbit stuff, get your phone calls ready, get your tweets, tweeting, whatever you kids do. We are going to do Tweet a Celebrity.
Absolutely.
This is one of the fan favorite segments of the show. Tweet. That was sounding great before the show.
It is a popular segment where we pick a celebrity who has a twit machine, and then you, the fans of Schmoeville, will tweet bomb the hell out of them. Is that the phrase? Am I saying that correctly?
Twitter bomb them, and as always, we
Webster's.
have our guest of honor. Grae will pull one of the names from Josh the intern's freshly sanitized hat, last washed in 1984.
I've got one.
All
Do
right.
I read it?
Yep.
Who do you got, Grae? The winner is...
Ooh, at Allison Brie.
Oh,
That's a great
Allison
choice.
Brie
She
from
is
Community.
a popular cheese maker.
That's right. And Mad Men.
She's delicious.
Allison Brie.
At Allison Brie.
How do you spell Brie and how do you spell Allison?
Okay, it's Allison with 1 L. So and then it's Brie. Okay, hold on. It's ALISON BRIE.
That's how I would have
Just like the
guessed it.
cheese.
That's how I would have guessed it. If this was a spelling bee, I'm on to the next round.
So that's our winner. Tweet at Allison Brie. Tell her to come on the Schmoes Know Podcast. Tweet, and we will retweet and retweet all the ones you see. And let's see if finally one day this will work.
Now, Kenny, she's funny. And thank you again to Awkward Tunity, great YouTube channel. She made that. She created that song for us. So
Nice.
we have fans
So
making the
cute.
songs, Grae.
I love your fans. They make you posters. They make you songs.
Oh, yeah.
You have a very devoted following. I love
know
it.
it is awesome, and
Couldn't have happened to 2 nicer guys.
I may need one of them because I may be stuck in Newark, in the Newark airport all day tomorrow. So if somebody has a place for me to crash, please tweet me in. Now, why Allison Brie, Kenny? Real quick.
It was my choice.
Yeah,
and
you're the one.
She's just kind of the it girl for awkward nerd guys who sit at home and watch Community on Thursday nights.
You know what? She's Zoe Deschanel before she was Zoe Deschanel.
Yes,
like,
absolutely.
She's not self-aware.
Almost famous era.
I almost lost my mind when I saw a clip of her on Community for a Christmas episode where she's like wearing a Christmas outfit, singing a song about like, I'm a sexy girl at Christmas. And it was actually tagged onto the bottom of a Gawker thing that had that Victoria's Secret commercial where they make those hot models look like retards.
Right.
And then somebody posted the Allison Brie thing, and I was like, this is what women should be. It was great.
Well,
She's
tweet Allison
wonderful.
Brie. I guess Amelia Estevez will have to wait until next week. Kenny, let's take a phone call from Schmoeville. Let's get back into Hobbit talk.
Absolutely. We're going to take a
Hobbit.
call from Schmoeville. Welcome to Schmoeville Hobbit Talk. You're on the air.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going great, my friend.
What's up, man? Who is this?
Hi, this is Sandy from New York. What's up?
Hey, welcome
New
to the
York.
show. Tell Christian we said hi. What do you want to talk about today?
Well, I want to talk a little bit about what you guys were talking about there on The Hobbit, especially the girl with the pink hair who I think has never read the book.
Oh, yeah, I definitely haven't read the
She
book.
has not read the source material. No, have you? What's your take on it?
Yes. My take on the first film is that it's very close to the book and the appendices, to be honest.
Yes.
In the book itself, if let's say Jackson would just do the book, which he could easily have done as one film, you would have questions such as, where the hell did Gandalf disappear for about 45 and a half minutes?
Yeah.
Because
Right.
In the book itself, Gandalf vanishes right after the scene where the movie ends,
Right.
where he goes off to and doesn't show up until about 5 or 6 chapters. It says, "Oh, I was dealing with a necromancer,"
Right.
and none of that is actually resolved until the appendices in Return of the King and also in the Silmarillion. So if you're going to do this as close to the book as possible, you'll have this huge, massive freaking gap and a hole in the plot.
So you
hey,
gotta
where the Gandalf go off to, you know?
Yeah, you gotta Hollywood it up a little bit. So your take on the Hobbit film though that you just saw. Well, what did you like it? Did you not like it? What was your take?
I thought it was excellent actually.
Did you see it 24 frames?
I saw it in 24 frames. I'm actually going to go see it in 48 frames this weekend.
This is what I'm saying, you guys.
Okay, and thank you for the phone call. We really appreciate it.
From New York.
Well taken, and I really think that if I had seen this movie 24 frames the first time, I might have been a little bit more forgiving to this boring-ass screenplay that they wrote. Because honest to Jesus, the first hour of this movie includes not one, Mark, 2 dwarf songs, okay? And it's like you're getting to know no one. It's
but
boring.
The dwarf song is what initially sold me on The Hobbit, because let's remember,
it's
last
in the teaser
Christmas,
trailer, yes.
They can sing.
everybody was so excited about this movie coming out. Oh, we got to wait a whole year for The Hobbit. And I was like, okay, look, I like Lord of the Rings, not that excited. And then I was hanging out in my brother's basement. We were mixing my CD. What's it called, Kenny?
Get to the castle.
We're mixing it. It's available on iTunes and Amazon right now. And I watched The Hobbit trailer. It comes out, so I do a review on it. And watching that thing, it looked like they were singing this song, and it slowly was building. It was getting you more excited. And it was like a pregame speech before you're going to go play a playoff game. And I was ready to charge out of the gates in the middle
Dark,
and
ominous.
stab an eagle because they keep putting holes in the plot. And it got me excited. So I like seeing the music in the beginning, and then we go off on this adventure.
I was okay with the dark, ominous pregame football speech song.
Yeah.
It was the other one where they started singing about Bilbo, and I don't care if it's in the book. I'm in the movie theater going, I would have gone seen the Oogle Woogles or whatever the hell they are.
Hey, we raided your pantry. We are also short.
He's
is
uptight
basically
about
what
plates.
That song was.
Yeah.
That wasn't great. That was like watching Animal House. It was like watching the Delta Talcai house take over some poor schlub.
But for
I'm
me,
going to take this pen and I'm going to jam it in my fucking neck if I have to see that bullshit one more time.
and here I am. I'm already upset about the 48 frames, which, by the way, makes the movie look like you're watching a BBC broadcast of a live stage play version of The Hobbit.
You're right.
and I'm already like, what's going on? And then they're like, Bilbo don't like plates, and they're saying, I'm like,
Listen,
what's going on at work?
Hold on a second. Speaking of what the movie looked like in 48 frames, I just have one word, several syllables that I'm not going to count because I'm one beer in. Radagast. That didn't look good.
Oh,
Do you see what's
yeah.
happening with my neck right now?
The wizard, look at that. It's
doing
getting
that.
all
Not
wonky.
look good.
It's moving.
We don't like
All
wonky
of a
neck.
sudden, when he has his fucking awesome Iditarod Jack Rabbit
Yeah.
thing.
He's got like bird crap pasted to the
You
side.
You
of
didn't
his
like the
face.
scene, or you didn't like the visual effects?
I hated the visual effects. He's running away and he's trying to distract, right? He's doing a bang-up job. The
Yeah.
dude is fast. The rabbits are fast.
And
I'll give him
I'm-
that.
The
He
character's
knows stuff.
needed. I get it. I get the character.
That looked terrible. It looked
Right.
terrible. That was like the worst thing in the whole movie.
I thought the visual effects, aside from that scene a little bit, I thought that everything else was tremendous. Like when they were all the orcs
we
and all
watching
that.
the same thing. No, hold on.
I
You
thought
know
they
what?
were Josh the intern's giving
no.
me. Yeah,
But you-
Jump on, Joe.
I'm with Mark. I thought everything looked great.
See,
pretty
now-
much in line with the original trilogy.
But now
Yeah.
you saw it in 24
sure.
frames,
Oh, yeah.
and I think that this is a key. Now, here is the one place that I will concede, and I will agree with you for once.
Okay.
I think that the 48 frames really made those battle scenes crystal clear and amazing.
Yeah.
It was dark.
Yeah.
There was so much going on in them that the clarity was much appreciated. You could see the grommet on the axe, okay? And
Yeah.
that was cool.
You could
So-
see the beard glue on the dwarfs while they fought. It was great.
Well, and guess what? I mean, Xbox technology has been there.
Sure.
Been able to show us those kinds of scenes for a long time. That's why that looked good.
Uh-huh, yeah.
And here's the problem. Here's another problem. I'm not their target demographic. I get it.
You have shit written in Klingon in your kitchen.
Yeah.
I think you're the target demographic of a movie like this.
It's like, but I'm a lady. I'm like a little bit older from where they're skewing. Do you know? So
It was a little more
She's a
kid-friendly,
lady.
but...
whoa! I don't like this movie. And no, but I get that this movie necessarily wasn't made for me, and I don't play video games, and the people that play video games, I think, really like the 48 frames.
Yeah.
Can we talk about some things that even I liked about the movie? And I know you had some things too.
Yes.
We have to
Let's
give
be positive.
We have to give credit, and he was
Yeah.
number one on my Schmoes Know Power rankings last week on the website. Andy Serkis once again just came in and delivered as Gollum. I absolutely did love that
The
scene.
Gollum scene. Let's talk about that because
Yeah.
whether
How
you were
great
on
it
board
was.
with the movie up until that point, you're like, I wonder how much longer we have left. Nobody was leaving
That's
until
when I put down
you
my
saw
phone.
Gollum.
I was like,
Right.
oh, here we go.
By the way, what are you doing with your phone open in a movie? How many times have we had this conversation?
Wednesday at 9:30 in the morning, man. No one was behind me, near me. Sorry. I had my bathrobe on. I was there.
Back in my day, we'd pay a nickel to see Gone with the Wind, and we didn't have iPhones.
Which was the style at the time.
I love the scene with Gollum. May have been my favorite out of all the other effects that I enjoyed and all the other adventure and battle scenes. The scene with Gollum, and because you know what it was? It was funny. And it was scary at the same time.
Yeah.
And here is the thing. It looked spectacular. Gollum was real. And I mean, I thought years ago he looked great.
Absolutely.
Leagues better now.
He looked better. He looked better here. And I'll give a big shout out to Christian, because Christian made the point that that we get introduced to Gollum in the books. We see him in The Hobbit first, right? We don't know that he's this crazy schizo who's got like a Silver Linings Playbook kind of thing going on in his head. But watching the movies,
the ballroom dancing.
But he is a big Eagles fan, as anybody in Middle Earth would be. Look at those fucking things. So we already know he's this kind of crazy guy that has these two sides to his personality.
Yes.
So when we see Gollum in the Hobbit movie, we're like, oh, that's Gollum. But when you meet him in the books, that's the first time you see him. You're like, what is this creepy species that is living? How can something survive down here? And now it's talking to me. Now it seems to be debating amongst itself. What's going to happen? That's a great scene. And I hate that it's put that much passion to a point that Christian Harloff made.
But
you're right.
A good point. That's one of the reasons we came to see this movie, and it was there and it delivered, and I did love that.
Gollum is arguably the best character in the entire series.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And he lit up the screen like a Roman candle. And for the first time, actually, I hate to say, for the first time during that entire picture, when Gollum showed up, that's when I was in it. You couldn't have ripped me out of that theater, and I just was exactly like you said, scared and laughing at the same time, and really disturbed.
Well, see, I feel like any great adventure movie, it's like, because in like a Star Wars movie, you'll have like, okay, here's what's happening to the rebellion, then Luke's off on this mission, and then you kind of get to cut back and forth and you build the tension. That's what was great about that scene, is that we see all the other little people got kidnapped, and now they're in the clutches of these evil beings, and then now we're dealing with Bilbo, and then it's like a back and forth kind of thing, and you don't know where it's going to go. I was on board with this. I like this movie. I'm not going to apologize. Josh, the intern, get on the mic. Tell us why you like the Gollum scene.
Well, first of all, it's Andy Serkis, just like Ken pointed out. It's amazing. He did look a lot better, too, I admit. I'm curious to see it in 48 frames just because I want to see what special effects look like. Because I hear that's when he looks like the best, is during those 48 frames.
It's incredible. It's the one thing I thought that was like, wow, this is great in 48 frames.
That's probably the only reason I'm going to check out the 48 frames.
And I actually want to see it in 24 because I want to see what the change is, because I was just like, couldn't take my eyes off of it. It looked spectacular.
The detail was great, and there was nothing unrealistic about the whole scene.
Well, you know what Andy Serkis says is that the technology, even since Return of the King, has changed so much that facially he's able to do so much more.
Yeah, you could tell.
Yeah, that like it's a whole new character, like, and he kind of fell in love with it all over again because he knew that even the most subtle things that he was able to do would be broadcast, like for on screen, and they wouldn't be filling it in.
When he's leaning on the rock and giving that little and thinking, and oh god, it was great. Can I talk about something that I enjoyed, and I want to get your opinions?
Grae, what's going on in your life? What's that?
Some stuff, some girl stuff, ovaries, uterus,
shares
Kenny,
shares in bathrooms,
baby powder.
I actually enjoyed the cameos and the bringbacks of the characters that we were familiar with already, which some of it from Galadriel and Christopher Lee coming back at like 109 and doing this scene. Even the beginning when Frodo comes back and you kind of realize, oh crap, that's the beginning of the other movie, and that's the last time he's an innocent little hobbit. He's like, I'm gonna go meet Gandalf, and my life's screwed. But I enjoyed all that, and maybe it's because I'm so familiar and love the other movies and maybe wanted, it'd be like Luke Skywalker showing up in episode 7. I enjoy that character. I enjoyed all that and the kind of the dark, ominous tones.
I think that's what that's why it's hardest. It's a flaw of mine. The toughest kind of movies for me to be critical about are these big sweeping adventure movies, simply because so much passion and effort is put into these things.
Certainly.
And it's so great to see the effort in every frame. Even if you talk about if you thought it was lazy screenwriting, it was just such a huge production, and for them to make it look as good as I thought it did was such an achievement in itself, and it had me wrapped up the whole time.
Can I tell you a reason that my not liking The Hobbit really breaks my heart?
Yes.
Because walking through the workshop of Weta, it is a cavernous, ginormous place.
Weta, the special effects company that does all this, that brings all these things to life.
Humble brag.
Where where dreams are made. Like imagination is born in this place. And every corner that you turn has something else in it that aren't even from their movies. They just have like all kinds of things. And they're like,
what do they have there, Grae?
I don't even know if I'm supposed to say this. They have
the cat's out. You can't be like, oh, I went to what? I saw some cool shit.
They have life-size recreations of like Labyrinth characters.
Oh,
and
man.
And we're like, wait.
And one of them's actually just David Bowie. He hangs out there.
And we're like, wait. Like, what did you do? What did you guys work? What is that? And they were like, we just like the movie.
Oh, man.
Every corner that you turn has more stuff. And what we started to notice was that so many of the things in Weta belong to the artists there. They're their original things. And so Richard Taylor is like their big boss man who is showing people his employees' personal work that has nothing to do with Weta except that the artist there created it. And I came to understand that they're so supportive of their artists and they are so in love with each other. And that's the reason these movies are so magical. That's the reason that these movies touch everyone all over the world, because where they're created is such a loving, supportive environment that's so respectful for the art that they create.
It's a true artist colony. It's like ILM, I guess, in the late 70s, early 80s, where it's really, hey, we're flying by the seat of our pants. Let's see what we can do. Let's see how much cool stuff we can come up with.
It's the most extraordinary thing that I've ever seen, because every place that I've ever worked in the past has been like, I have to hide who I am. I can't work on my stuff during company time. Whereas those people, the people that are creating some of the most unbelievable films ever made in the history of cinema, are like, hey, we'll use company property. Like, make it right here.
You want some Post-it notes? Take them.
Take them.
Okay,
do it.
all that stuff's well and good, but do they have a Miller Lite keg? I didn't think so. Kenny, let's take a phone call, because Grae's been such a great guest. Somebody deserves to get to talk to Grae here a little bit.
Absolutely. We're going to take another phone call here on Schmoes Know. What you got?
Hello there. This is Patrick from New York.
Patrick.
Hey, Patrick.
Now the New Yorker. Hey, Patrick, you got 11 minutes until the apocalypse. What are you doing, buddy?
Watching the podcast. I'm willing to die for it.
Hey, another loyal Schmoeville.
Willing to die for Schmoeville.
We appreciate that,
Thank you, Patrick.
What did you want to gab about tonight?
Hobbit, of course.
Absolutely. Have at it.
Now, I'm pretty much on both sides. I saw it in 24 frames. I didn't see it in 48. I liked the movie. I read the book. I thought there were the epic scenes, Thorin at the end fighting, and all the awesome battle scenes, but I did also think there was Rivendell and the Shire. But I think with my experience with the 24 frames, I wasn't pulled out of the movie as what I've heard so much from so many people.
Yeah.
And so I kind of have a question for you guys is, what's the difference between what I thought was a good build-up to the action between the Shire and then where I thought it started to really slow down was Rivendell, but I thought it was a good build-up until then, where I hear people who saw it in 48 just say, this is just boring. So I'm wondering what's the difference between having that build-up and just needless conversation.
That
makes sense.
is how you do a phone call. Patrick,
Absolutely.
Thank you for keeping your cool with now 10 minutes to go. And I'm having fun with this. Look, comedians have been doing jokes about this stupid apocalypse for the last 2 years. I'm going to squeeze another 10 minutes. This is like the last 10 minutes of the Bush presidency. We want to get every nugget of comedy we can get.
We're going to pardon it in. That's a great question by Patrick. As far as the build-up, frames or not, here's one of my thoughts on the build-up. I didn't know where we were going. Yes, I got they went back to the city, and this character that apparently was from the God of War video game was running around. I had no idea. In screenwriting, you call it the get to the Death Star type of thing, where the story starts here, we're going here. I was like, where are all the jokes I've heard for years about Lord of the Rings? It's a bunch of people walking. I'm like, oh, now this is a bunch of people walking. I just didn't have a clear defined goal for what was happening in that story.
And that's where I will concede a point to you, Grae, is because, look, I've had LASIK eye surgery. I eat carrots all day and night. My eyes are healthy as a goddamn horse.
Where's my baby carrots?
So I can handle the 48 frame. I was hanging out at Weta. But I think that maybe
Twice.
since I'm used to the 48 frames, then nothing would take me out of that. But Patrick made a great point. Like, I don't care how much you build up stuff. Like, if you're not enjoying the 48 frames or it's making you sick, that is akin to having somebody next to you taking out their iPad and checking their email, or somebody taking a phone call, or a baby crying.
Me checking work email.
Out of the movie. That's why I looked at you.
Yeah, and that's actually what I was thinking during that phone call, is that had I not been trying so hard with all of my soul to adjust to the 48 frames, maybe I would have thought it was a good build-up too. I didn't. But because quite honestly, by the time we got to Rivendell, I was like, well, thank God, because at least the elves liven shit up.
Yeah.
Let's Hugo Weaving this bitch.
Blowing horns and killing shit.
That's right. Give me some Agent Smith.
Want to take another quick call?
Let's take another phone call.
All right, let's do another call here on Schmoeville. Welcome to the Schmoes Know Podcast, talking Hobbit.
Hey, this is James from Kansas.
James from Kansas. I like that. Kansas checking in.
How are you, James? What do you got?
Well, talking Hobbit, of course. But I was unfortunately not to see it in 48 frames per second. I wish I would have, but I got to experience this in IMAX at 24. And really, the opening scene I love when it tells the story about the dwarves, but then after that, I just felt like you had 35 minutes where it just dragged. Where then you find to see the Hobbit to go on the journey. I really felt like Peter Jackson was putting word for word from the book into the movie. That's why I think the other two movies are going to scare me. I think it's going to be the exact same way. See, with more, I think we just put on two movies.
I like you, James.
Yeah,
James, thanks for the call, James.
Thanks for the phone call, James. That's another good point too. And my answer to that is that it's very few times when you go see a movie that you get to go to a completely another universe. You get to get transported into some place like Middle Earth. So if there's going to be a part that drags a little bit, I'm cool with that. I understand not everybody's cool with that. I have a tiny bladder. I made it through. It's not everybody's bag, but if you're going to take me to Middle Earth, you're allowed to take your time telling the story, as opposed to
they weren't telling the story though, Mark. This is why what you're saying is bullshit. They weren't telling the story. They were just like, there's just a bunch of dwarves prancing around. That's a problem. That's problematic. Now, the thing is, like, I really think that this movie would have been so much better had they cut all that bullshit out of it, and it would have been a shorter film. And
but I want to be in Middle Earth. If you're paying $20,
wait
you can
for the
IMAX.
extended edition.
You can move the story forward with characters and dialogue. That's the key. And when you're adapting a book, books are great, but you have to cut stuff. You have to tailor the story to a movie. It's a different medium, and I think they were true to the book to a fault at times here.
Knock off all this romantic crap you keep talking about.
Okay, then we'll do this. Speaking of streamlining things and just getting in what you need to have in there, Josh the intern has a point.
No, what?
No, I was talking about editing and just cutting a lot of shit out that's unnecessary. Do you have something to say, young man?
I'm just saying, I was never bored. I was just so happy to be in Middle Earth. I was in for the ride. I don't know why.
He had a little Middle Earth pendant and a T-shirt. He was like, "I'm in Middle Earth
I think
again."
Maybe because I went with lowered expectations.
This is why we have these podcasts.
That's right.
Grae, I can't wait to talk to you more about this when we come back on the Schmoes Know Podcast. Give us your phone calls and your tweets. We'll see you on the other side of this break. All right, do I go 0 for 3 and again not get the Christmas Carol? What is this, Grae? Is this from Frosty? This is what?
It's Elf.
It's a newer one. Oh, this is Elf. Okay. Elf starring Will Ferrell. I don't feel as bad about that one. The Charlie Brown Christmas one that's going to mess me up for a while here. Welcome back to the Schmoes Know Movies podcast, everybody. Let me tell you guys what you can get that special someone in your life who also survived the Mayan apocalypse, which is currently it will be going on in about 1 minute. So let me get this Sherry's Berries plug out right. You can send some giant freshly dipped strawberries from Sherry's Berries. It starts at just $19.99. Hey, Grae, that's over 40% savings.
What?
All you do is you go to berries.com, you click on the mic, and type in the code TOADHOP. And our radio listeners, listen to this. Double the berries, just $10 more. And to be honest with you, they send us like free samples of this stuff, so we act like these things are ungodly great. Because you get them and you're like, oh, it's strawberries. And they're dipped in chocolate. I watched a football game eating chocolate-dipped strawberries.
In slippers and a towel on his head.
I had a lot of conflicting emotions. All you have to do is you can also call 866-FRUIT-02 or just go to berries.com. Order now because the offer expires tomorrow at noon.
Oh, my God.
As does everything else on Earth. Sherry's Berries. And I want to get to a couple tweets that we have in Schmoeville just about the show. The first one I'm going to read is it's Patrick Hogue at Canadian Pat 493. He wrote, Mark, I am wearing the same shirt as you right now. Which is awesome because this is it's a Ripped Apparel shirt. It says 2012, like a political campaign, except we're voting for Steve Rogers and Tony Stark. Yes. You guys know Ripped Apparel. They sponsor our show. They're great people over there. They make a new T-shirt every day. It's just $10 if you type in the code Schmoes Know.
That's Schmoes Know. And then I have my my shirt that Christian got me from Ripped. Little Star Wars AT-AT action there.
AT, like AC/DC, rock and roll train.
And I'm wearing a leopard print dress I got from H&M. I paid for it, and it's entirely too much leopard print in one place.
That's right. And if you want more of that, just go to www.rodstewartscloset.com.
If you want my
some other tweets. Matt Brown, Call Me Roy 88, tweeted in, so is Mark the only sane person there? So you do have some support tonight.
All right. Yes. Thank you, man. This is my time of need. I got my buddy, my Christian. He's not here. I gotta, defend myself. I need some help here.
Good for you, sane one.
We have had a very spirited Hobbit debate, and what I want to do, because I want to start spinning the show towards Christmas movies we like, and since it is the apocalypse, we can talk about some apocalyptic movies that we all like, because there's a lot of fun ones. It's weird that we like going to the movies to watch everything destroyed that we know and love, but we do.
I especially love seeing Los Angeles destroyed. It's very therapeutic.
The city you live in, the city of angels.
Yes.
I never worry. Now that is a lie. Let's take it. Do we have any more phone calls? Because I want to get a couple other Schmoeville points on the Hobbit.
Let's take some phone calls from Schmoeville. Take another one here. Welcome to Schmoeville, talking Hobbit. What you got?
Hey, guys. It's Matt Brown.
Matt Brown, who is decidedly on Mark Ellis' side.
Oh, this is that Matt Brown. How are you, Matt? Good to have you in Schmoeville.
I'm doing good, and guess what? I live in New York City, and there's asteroids coming down. There's fire in the streets. It's crazy.
Oh, our man Matt Brown is on the scene. But you know what's great is it Matt's Twitter handle is I believe Call Me Roy?
Call Me Roy 88.
Call Me Roy 88, which is from Die Hard. So if there's one guy you want in the apocalypse, it's Bruce Willis. He handled that asteroid in Armageddon okay.
Mark Brown is making this call walking on broken glass.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Picking it up.
Matt,
weigh in on the Hobbit here.
As for the Hobbit, I was actually very worried going in because Lord of the Rings is my second favorite movie of all time.
What's your first?
Tootsie.
So I had very, very high. I mean, obviously by Twitter, my favorite movie is Die Hard. So Lord of the Rings is up there, though.
Sorry.
But
I was going to go with Mrs. Doubtfire, but no.
Trip to Bountiful?
I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry, Matt. We interrupted you. Go ahead.
I was very afraid, though, because I knew it was only one book, and 3, I was afraid it would feel drawn out. I was afraid it wouldn't be as good. So I let myself know that it won't be as good, and it won't be, and it might feel a little bit. But I went in, and I loved it. I didn't think it felt drawn out at all. Maybe if it was, I didn't notice because I knew there were 2 more movies. I saw it in 24 frames because I've seen stuff in 48 frames, and I hate it. It sucks. It takes me out. I'm aware of the camera. I know they're filming something, and that takes me out of the world.
Yes.
However, there were 3 things, only 3, that I didn't like about The Hobbit.
Okay.
What do you got?
One was the first dwarf song felt like Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs. They're just kind of, hi ho, all that garbage.
There are plates, we're breaking them. Oh goodness, they are fragile. Whip, apple.
It felt like a Disney movie, It didn't feel real. At the very end, I feel like we had 2 scenes where Thorin is mad at Bilbo, and then he gives this big, great speech.
Yes.
I mean, both were good, so I was okay with it, and I let those slide. There's one thing I cannot let slide, though, and that is effing Radagast the Brown.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, God. He felt like he was out of a Disney movie. He had, the bird crap on the side of his face.
Yep.
He better go somewhere because he was the only thing that really, really took me out of the movie.
I swear when he was running to those rabbits, the rabbits actually said, "Let's go!" And it was like, oh, no.
Let's get out of here.
Yeah, it's like the Ewoks going, "Hey, Chihuahua!" It's just,
I like when the Ewoks make noises.
Thanks for the call, Matt.
Yeah, thanks for calling, Matt. I think, it's called The Hobbit, all right? We're not going in there to watch it's not like an adult film. It's not like not The Godfather, so you can put some stuff in there for the kiddies. It's for everybody. It's a family film.
Do you know what? I actually think that if Peter Jackson had made The Hobbit first, that we wouldn't even be having this conversation. That that going backwards from Lord of the Rings, which was so sophisticated and for an older audience, very dark, would really set a tone and an expectation that really isn't met in The Hobbit, because The Hobbit's a very different story. The Hobbit's just an adventure and it's full of dragons and shit. So
then it would get more dark and more ominous as you progress in the movies with The Return of the King, which wasn't long and drawn out and have 9 endings at all. It wasn't like that. It was the opposite of that, right?
But that's what's so peculiar is that even in watching it the second time, Return of the King, by the time that Aragorn goes, you bow to no one, it's like, holy shit, that's amazing. Like, it's amazing. I was crying. It was so good. And then The Hobbit didn't elicit any response like that. Except I am really excited to see the dragon.
I'm excited. And maybe, do you want to take one more call, then wrap up the Hobbit talk?
Kenny, you're the producer, man. I'm just your monkey. Okay. You tell me what to do.
We'll take one more call here from Schmoeville.
Don't spank me too hard now.
Welcome to Schmoeville, talking Hobbit. Hate it or love it, what you got?
Hey, guys, it's George.
Georgie.
Hi, George.
Georgie, how are you, sir?
I'm good, guys, and I'm alive, so that's
He's still
cool.
working alive. He's alive.
That trampoline boxing gets you in great shape for the apocalypse, George.
I saw The Hobbit in IMAX 3D 48 frames per second.
Ooh.
Braggart. Wow, that's the premier deluxe package.
Braggart.
And, I loved it. I thought it was awesome.
Wow.
And it was so crystal clear, and it took maybe 5 minutes for me to get used to it, and I don't have a high-def TV. I thought it was so cool, and it was literally like you were in that world. I felt the exact opposite of being taken out of it. I felt like I was walking with them and stuff. It was so, so cool.
Can we discuss that George does not have a high-definition TV? So when you watch Yankee games, do you think Derek Jeter looks like Bucky Dent?
It's not good. I'm not wealthy. So.
Hey, Georgie, you keep stumping politically for me like you're doing tonight. You're going to have yourself a brand new high-def TV, courtesy of Santa Claus.
George, thanks for the call. We're going to wrap up some Hobbit talk here. Hey, man,
guys,
buckle down, put some cardboard up in the window, stay safe.
Absolutely, yeah. Thank you, Georgie. And
I'm genuinely glad that George really enjoyed it. Like, that makes me happy to hear that people had a good time, because ultimately, I want Peter Jackson to roll around in his big piles of money.
There was a lot of things in this movie I enjoyed. I don't want to give the impression that I didn't like it. I'm looking forward. Harloff and I have a bro date scheduled to go see it in 24 frames if you want to join. Because we're going to try to see, maybe that was the problem for us.
What day you guys going?
We'll figure
I
it
got
out.
a dentist appointment that day.
Tough.
I can't
You're
do it.
You're going to be home eating bonbons, watching football games with heron rollers.
Dipping strawberries in chocolate. Josh the intern, your final thoughts. This is like Jerry Springer. Everybody gets a final thought on The Hobbit before we move in to Christmas and Apocalypse movies, and we want Schmoeville to kind of turn your attention towards that and give us a call. Tell us what your favorite movie in each genre is. Josh the intern, the floor is yours.
I'm really curious to see in 48 frames per second. I mean, it seems like different strokes for different folks. Everyone seems to have their own opinion on it, and I'm like,
Mr. Drummond was there. He was Radagast the Brown.
What the deal is.
I set him up to be like Springer, but that was exactly like a Springer final thought. He's like, what, different strokes for different folks.
Yeah.
She found out that's not the father. We got another father. Hey, somebody was stroking something. Jerry.
I'm slow clapping you, Josh.
You got to follow that, Miss Drake. Yeah. How can she do it?
I am the Eye of Sauron.
Good opening.
I have turned my vision towards 48 frames. And I'm going to do everything in my power to stop it.
Oh, this is genius.
I'm going to go back to revisit The Hobbit because of my dedication to the man Peter Jackson and to Weta and to this series that I very, very much love. I'm going to see it in the superior format of 24 frames. I am going to perhaps have a couple of cocktails first. I love the series. I love everything about it. But guess what? Eye of Sauron always wins in the end.
Okay, Kenny and Christian are going on their man date. Can Grae and I go on a date to see?
Yes,
She's gonna have a couple drinks beforehand. She's in at 24, so she's gonna be happier walking out of it.
Absolutely. I'd have a feeling Mama would teach you some things. All right, buddy? Okay.
You can never totally get the wrestling promoter
session.
out of Kenny Nash.
Right.
And in this corner,
look, I am definitely going to be there for the next 2 movies. Why wouldn't I? There's so much in there. I'm definitely going to see in 24 frames. I think the world was set up, so maybe if I get to know the characters more, if I get to know weird white-beard dwarf is actually Bob, he was the mechanic back in the town before it got shut down, then I'd have and be invested in some of the characters. Obviously, the Gollum stuff was just awesome and great, and it looked like Lord of the Rings, like Josh said. It still looked, it wasn't like prequels where you're like, this isn't the world George Lucas created. There's it was the world, so I'm definitely going to go back. I can overlook some of the childish humor because I get that it was in the book. I can get past that. I'm not a parent myself, but thank you, Grae. I didn't go to Weta, and I didn't get the, what's the gift shop like there? Just some cafe press cups?
There's a huge orc. He's so scary. He's there, and then Gollum's right there too.
It's just frame photos that you can buy of every Peter Jackson cameo in the movie. You know,
it's really small, and it makes me sad that it's so small.
Oh, really? It's
just
like, hey, this is from the Frighteners.
The Weta Cave is too tiny. It is too tiny, but yet still too large for my pocketbook.
That sounds like my point I'm about to make, because it seems like to me that everybody who was so excited about going to see The Hobbit, oh, this is the movie I want to see the most this year, more than Avengers, more than Batman, it seems like most of those people were a little disappointed by the movie.
Right.
Maybe they thought it was too bloated, they thought it was a little too kid-friendly. What's surprising to me is that if you really wanted to see the movie and you were so excited about going back to Middle-earth, and then you also complain about it not moving fast enough for you, I don't totally understand that. Like, I'm happy to be here, but the story's not moving quick enough. It's like, I'm happy to be in the theater. Now get me the fuck out.
I thought you understood. I thought you understood me, Mark.
But for my point, it seems like the 48 frames. I didn't hate seeing it 48 frames. I don't think it was necessary. It was cool to see at some points, but I think that for anybody who saw this movie, there was enough in The Hobbit, from the Gollum scene to the incredible visual effects to the singing, the good song, and the acting, the performances, everybody coming back and embracing their role and the passion in this movie. I am very excited to see the last 2 movies in this trilogy. And in summation,
Can I break it down in math for just a second? This is the last thing I'll say for real.
Sure.
Speaking of Mama Grae teaching you a couple of things.
Beautiful mind.
On the tomato meter, RottenTomatoes.com, the Lord of the Rings movies are all in the 90s.
Wow,
okay?
really?
Yes. And the Hobbit is about 65.
Okay.
And so, if I had gone into the picture expecting it to be approximately 30% less good, I think I would have loved it. Lowered expectations, everybody. It describes my dating life, and it describes me seeing The Hobbit for a second time.
Lowered expectations.
But it does not describe the listeners of Schmoes Know Movies. You guys come with high expectations. We deliver each and every week here on the show. Wow, that was a good... I feel like we got a lot of stuff out.
It feels good to talk.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We worked through some things here today, folks.
That's right. Kenny did a great job of kind of moderating Josh and I's unbridled passion for it. Grae got to scream into a pillow a few times to just get some anxiety worked out.
And even bite it a little.
That's why I'll go see The Hobbit with her, Kenny.
Absolutely. You two go in that theater. Christian and I will go in our theater. Josh can go back to Digital World and watch it somewhere
Josh,
else.
you can drop me and Grae off, okay? But let me tell you something. If there's a tie around the doorknob, don't come in.
Come in.
So now we're gonna start to spin the
You
show.
don't own a fucking tie.
What? No, you're right. I don't.
Who's he kidding?
I don't. I own a Ripped Apparel 2012 T-shirt.
Hey.
The cool thing about this show, usually we do movie news too, Kenny. We didn't do movie news today.
Movie news is going to be back early January. We're just kind of getting. There were some hot topics this month. We just wanted to get into straight away.
Yeah, and I love the segment. It's very funny. The joke writing's there. The news is there. If you want movie news in the meantime, you can check out Christian and I have a new show on Machinima ETC. You can go to our Facebook page or our Twitter feed. You can check out the links. We'll tweet the crap out of it tomorrow.
It's funny and good.
Thank you. And it shows us in full body. What's amazing is that after the first couple episodes, our fans watch it. They're like, I didn't know you guys had legs. I'm like, yeah, we got him. We got him. So we talk tomorrow. A little tea. We talk about the new poster for the Wizard of Oz that came out, and you get to see the what is
powerful.
We think it's the Wicked Witch of the West or the East, the green one, and she looks hot.
Well,
that's all I'll say. I don't want to go all Captain Tiberius Kirk on you, but it's a green chick, and she's pretty hot. Right. Now we use green to transition into Christmas, guys. It is the season of giving. It is Christmas time. So let's talk about some Christmas movies. Let's just have it out there. Let's go around the table, and I'll give Josh the intern the first start here. What is your favorite Christmas movie of all time? And defend your choice, boy.
That's a hard one.
No, it isn't.
On to Grae Drake.
I'm gonna give two real quick. For me, like the kid in me loves Christmas Story. It's just what I grew up with.
Perfect movie.
The more adult version, like Scrooged, because I love those.
Scrooged is an amazing film. Carol Kane is a treasure. There's not a missed moment in that film.
David Johansen.
Yeah, Bobcat Goldthwait.
Bobcat, absolutely.
And a gentleman named Bill Murray giving one of his great performances of all time.
Did you try Staples? Those poor mice that needed reindeer ears.
Yeah, and I don't know.
Antlers, I should say.
Co-written by Michael O'Donoghue, Mr. Mike from SNL.
That's right. And did you know, fun Scrooge Ed fact is the original person that was going to portray the Bobcat Goldthwait character was, anybody? Sam Kinison. And he was just a little too nutty. He clashed with some people on the set, and so they were like, Sam, we can't do this. Bobcat came in, and you can't imagine anybody else in that role now, though.
Also, Richard Donner directed that, which I was surprised when I grew up, because Lethal Weapon. I mean, all his movies, I was like, Richard Donner did this? I was like, wow, I just never saw him doing comedy, but I loved it.
But you did that.
Anybody... You know, we were just discussing this picture earlier, and I love saying picture when you're talking about films.
My favorite phrase is, you got to go picture.
Nobody said that.
I'm waiting to sell one of my movies, and I'm going to make the executive say that to me. Yeah. You got to go picture, knapsack.
Someone was saying earlier that if you don't cry during the last scene of Scrooge, like even just get a little teary because they're like singing, put a little love in your heart, and like everybody's singing, and the little kid speaks, spoiler alert, it's incredible.
God bless everyone.
Yeah. I mean, so good. And then they're singing, and then Bill Murray's like addressing the audience, and he's like, oh, the ladies on the left side. I mean, it's so good.
That end scene too, it's because like our family tries to watch it every year at some point, because that's our Christmas movie. And when that scene comes on, we own it. The Ellis family claims. And when it comes on at the end, it's Alfred Woodard starts singing, and it's like, you feel a little cheesy, but then it all goes away.
You can't fight it. You can't fight it.
It's like seeing a cover band where the first song you're like, they're not really but then it all washes off, and you're like, I'm seeing Guns N' Roses.
It's like when you're stuck alone in a room with a musician. You just got to make out with them. Yeah. You got to do it. You can't fight it. You just have to go with the flow.
Was that kind of like when you saw Van Halen and Gary Cherone? When Gary Cherone was the front man, you're like, all right, it's Van Halen.
It's still Eddie. Eddie's still up there.
Great choices, Josh. That was a good conversation starter. Grae, do you have a couple of choices about that?
I do. When I'm gonna follow in the steps of intern Josh, and I'm gonna do Naughty Grae with little devil horns, and I'm gonna do Angel Grae with the wings, which is not as believable, but okay. So Angel Grae, the less believable one, she really likes Love Actually.
Okay, absolutely. We've got a lot of tweets already in for that.
Love Actually is a phenomenal movie, and my argument for it is that not every storyline works out perfectly. Some of them are really sad and depressing, which means it's like you've got a lot of flavors. You're cooking with a lot of spices. Bam!
Right.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That's why I like Love Actually. Now, Naughty Grae, Devil Horns.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
She really likes, and it's creepy when I talk in third person.
I like it.
She really likes Bad Santa.
Oh, absolutely.
Bad Santa, I think, is probably like really my number one, because I just like Christmas movies that are mean.
She ain't gonna shit right for a week. That's
the
greatest quote ever in any movie.
Every time I go in a dressing room, I say it to myself. And it creeps people out that are near me.
The late John Ritter, his final performance, nails it in that movie.
Oh, and that's right. See, I saw Bad Santa like when it first came out on home video or DivX or whatever the hell I watched. You signed up for the
Columbia House movie collection.
Yeah, that's right. And I remember I love the concept. I love, it's this dirty small Santa, and they're up to no good. And it just, it wore thin on me real quick.
Really?
Yeah, I will revisit it, because maybe it's been 10 years, but I just thought, like, okay, I get the joke, and we're 25 minutes in, and now I gotta hang in.
Make yourself a sandwich.
Oh, I'm surprised. Make yourself a
sandwich and go watch Bad Santa again.
Really?
I felt that way.
Do that for me this Christmas. What's that?
When I revisited it, I felt that way. The first time I saw Bad Santa, I loved it. I laughed my ass off. The second time, it was almost kind of like an old joke for me.
What do you know?
Didn't work as much.
I felt that way about Spaceballs and National Lampoon's Christmas, so I guess there we go. There we go.
Don't like National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation?
No, I loved it. And then a friend of mine was like, "Hey, you want to come over and just hang out, watch National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation?" I'm like, "Absolutely, Randy Quaid." We both sat there at the end of the movie. We looked at each other and we're like, "Huh." You want to go to Islands? Yeah, let's go to Islands.
You want to go to Islands? Oh God, help you.
Wait, I have a feeling that you go to Islands if you hated a Christmas movie. You're like, let's get away from anything cold and go to Islands and get a pineapple burger.
That joint, they sell shit a la carte there. That is wrong. That's wrong. I don't know why nobody goes to Islands.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well,
wow. So what are your favorites then?
Well, Bad Santa was on my list. I'm very happy that you said that. As was Scrooge. So I got to go. I'm going to go with one of my underrated ones that I might get hammered for this, but it was a Jodie Foster joint. Home for the Holidays. Robert Downey Jr.
Oh my God,
Claire
amazing.
Danes. Steve Guttenberg was in it too.
Was that Thanksgiving or Christmas?
It was kind of a combination, but at Home for the Holidays, and it was during that holiday.
Home for the holiday.
Classic, of course, Miracle on 34th Street. I, in 8th grade, portrayed lawyer Fred Gailey in the Judkins Junior High Drama presentation of Miracle on 34th Street.
That's a huge booking.
Yeah, absolutely, it was.
That's good. Yeah,
I object, Your Honor.
But I'm going to throw. Can I cheat and throw a third one out there?
Why not?
A little outside the box. It's not a direct Christmas movie, but it takes place during Christmas and has some great Christmas stuff in it, and that is Funny Farm with Chevy Chase, about 1988.
Oh, well.
So you crap on the popular Chevy Chase movie, and then the Chevy Chase movie that 14 people saw.
Yes.
You're like, that one had some nice moments.
Co-starring Madeline Smith. Great
Very
film.
nice. All right. Well, now it's time for me to step up to the plate. This is why I forgot about this, too. This is like kind of my podcast, and I let everybody else go first, so now I'm out of shit to say. But I got lucky because I will go kid and I will go other kid. Garfield's Christmas is a classic
Absolutely.
cartoon, and it brings it all back to the beginning of the show when I didn't get Charlie Brown's Christmas. I've seen Charlie Brown's Christmas once. I watched Garfield's Christmas every Christmas.
Well,
Sometimes
the tables have turned.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't believe that I know Garfield's Christmas.
Dad would chop down that tree.
Hold on a second. Did Lou Rawls at any point in time sing a song on that special?
He may have.
Because I actually was taking tickets at the Arclight Theater when I worked there a long time ago, and was looking down. I took someone's tickets, and as I was looking up, I said, "Hey, how's it going?" And then I heard, "Hello," and I knew that voice, and I just went, "Oh, it's Lou Rawls!" to his face. And he goes, and he looked at me, and I said, "Oh my God, this is so weird. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do the thing. I'm a huge fan of Garfield." And I was like, and it led me to the rest of your music. You're a wonderful singer.
Wow. Hey, that's why they do it.
That's why it was Lou Rawls. Well, I know Lou Rawls definitely doing song in the other one I was thinking about, and it's everybody has their favorite version of A Christmas Carol, whether it's Scrooged, which I kind of put that as a separate thing because it's a comedy and it's Bill Murray, and that's a great movie anyway. A Christmas Carol, everybody has who's your favorite Scrooge. Our family, we always go back to the 1984 George C. Scott portrayal.
Oh, wow.
And that one is just, it's so good and it's so haunting. You watch it and it does drag. It does drag because you're like, let's get the guy from the future on the horn. And but at the end, the payoff is so good. And seeing Patton wake up and just be so happy and jubilant, buy the fattest goose in the square and all that stuff. You feel the joy of Christmas in that moment. So that would be that.
Nice.
Absolutely. Can I also throw out too? Can I do this,
gotta scroll.
sir?
Yeah.
It's also an outside the box Christmas movie.
Kenny's being that kid that asked the teacher on Friday, "And teacher, you haven't assigned homework yet.
You haven't done this. Kiss, Kiss, Bang, Bang." Takes place over 4 days around Christmas.
Right.
Almost every scene has Christmas lights in it.
And also Trading Places we haven't talked about.
Absolutely.
That's very good. And a couple ones that I'm pissed off. I forgot this one. We got Jeff, our producer, came up with Home Alone.
Yep.
Of course.
And so I will contribute Home Alone 2 because I just thought of that. And Gremlins.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of tweets in for that. We also got a tweet from Joey Beans 81, one of the best Christmas movies of all time, of course, the Star Wars Christmas special.
He's wrong.
Celebrate
about that.
Life Day.
He's wrong.
Life Day.
That's right. I need to point this out because I do it every Christmas, and if you don't do it now, you don't get a chance to do it in March. You go back to the movie Gremlins. It's a fantastic movie. Kingston Falls. You have Zach Galligan in his most famous role. You have these gremlins, these cute mogwai. They turn into these evil green little creatures. Maybe the scene that I've never seen a scene bring a movie to a screeching halt quicker or more fully and effectively than the scene when Phoebe Cates is describing why she hates Christmas.
Yes.
There's gremlins inside the bar attacking things. The town is being overrun with these little goblins, yet we have time to tell a story about how her dad tried to be Santa Claus, and he tried to go down the chimney, and he got stuck in there. It doesn't stop there. They're wondering where the dad went. They're wondering, oh, is he pulling a gag on us? Is this a Christmas gag? 3 days later, they notice a smell. They did this all in the movie. PG rated, by the way. They notice a smell, and then they look in the chimney. They get the fire department out there, and they're like, oh, the corpse of your dad in a Santa outfit with presents is there.
And isn't it funny that in a movie about like angry little tiny dinosaurs that's the messed up thing?
Yeah.
Is her dad dying? The Joe Dante is a delightfully twisted man.
Yes. Man.
Delightfully so.
I would rather go on a cross-country trip with Spike from Gremlins or Mo, whatever the hell the lead Gremlins name is.
Spike is the mean bad guy.
Then hang out with Phoebe Cates in that scene. But that Phoebe Cates is maybe the hottest chick I've ever seen on the planet.
Yeah, just try to sit through Princess Caribou. We'll talk again.
Drop dead Fred. All right, the other side of this break, we're going to continue the Christmas talk, little apocalypse movie talk.
That's right, and then Mark
Take
Ellis
some calls.
may have to bail out early to go catch his apocalyptic flight back to the East Coast. It's the Schmoes Know Movies podcast. We're coming right back. I like the bells. Like that means it's Christmas when you have those handbells in the background.
Do you know what this is from, Mark? Oh my God!
I thought it was the Feed the World song.
No.
This isn't Save Africa.
No.
What is it?
It's from National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Oh, okay. They're running these.
What is wrong with you?
I'm not in my right brain today.
God.
He's worried about his Armageddon flight.
You got 1 foot on the airplane.
Yeah.
You got a lot of places to be. You got a lot of things coming up in the next couple weeks.
You are so good. That's a great point, Grae. Love you, babe. If you guys are in the Dallas area, you want to come out and see your old pal Mark Ellis do some stand-up comedy, I will be at the Addison Improv, which is pretty much the Dallas Improv Comedy Club, New Year's weekend. So from December 28th through the 31st, we're going to ring in the New Year on stage. Me and my buddy John Caparulo. Come on out, and about the only thing you can't buy on Amazon.com are comedy club tickets, Kenny. Everything else.
Right. Everything else is good.
We just go from one plug to another here.
That's what we do here.
Smooth
professionals. That's right.
Mother.
Go to AmazonFlowersBerriesRipped.com.
Gamefly. Don't forget Gamefly. Yeah, Amazon too. If you go to a link on the ToadHopNetwork.com /Schmoes, Schmoes Know F. It's a long link.
The Schmoes page at Toad Hop it has an Amazon logo, and you click on that, and then it takes you right to Amazon.
And it takes you, and if you have an account, as I do, it just takes you to your normal account. But then when you purchase something, like I do often, like my own book on Amazon for Kindle, if you buy it there,
your book,
my book by Cat Knapsack, it's called Tiny Mixtapes of the Soul.
Love it.
It has a bunch of songs that you wouldn't recognize in it. Proceeds of that go to the Schmoes Know podcast to keep this thing going and to keep Toad Hop a free, fun entertainment source for all. We're bringing the world together.
That's right.
Through Amazon. So do that.
Go
Amazon.com. You still got time.
Consumerism. Whee!
That's right. Buy.
Let's bring the world together. Do we have any calls? What other Christmas movies are people want to talk about?
Man, we are getting
Christmas,
a lot of tweets. Number one, I'm being hammered for never seeing Gremlins. Thanks, Josh, the intern. Jingle All the Way. People want us to talk about Jingle All the Way, the Arnold classic.
Can I tell you that my Halloween costume was Dora the Explorer, and for the life of me, I couldn't find a goddamn Boots stuffed animal, and I was wandering through the Toys R Us going, suddenly I totally get Arnold. I get it. I would do anything for this stupid monkey toy.
See, we have a spoiler alert because I know it was Schwarzenegger and it was Sinbad and it was blood, man. What the hell happened at the end of that movie? Did one of them get the toy? Did one of them not? Who won the riches?
I forgot.
Arnold got it because he dressed up as Turbo Man, and then his son gave it to Sinbad's kid because he felt bad that Sinbad's kid wasn't going to get the toy.
Oh.
It's like, you're my hero.
And that puts us all in the Christmas spirit.
That's right. And of course, Christmas Story, which you mentioned in passing, but that's one of the all-time classics.
Also, at Miss Movies, kill me if I didn't say White Christmas, which is apparently her favorite Christmas movie.
Oh, yeah, she's a big White Christmas fan. Yeah, but even White Christmas, they don't run on TBS 24 hours in a row like A Christmas Story. That's the only one. fun because a BB gun is what little Ralphie desperately wanted.
And we had talked about it a little bit with our caller, Patrick, but the number one alternate Christmas movie is, of course, Die Hard.
Yes.
That everyone loves to go to. And technically Die Hard 2, I guess.
I was going to say the second best was Die Hard 2.
And so we're getting a lot of tweets about that. And also, as writer Joe Ruggiero from our Schmoes website says, does the claymation Rudolph thing count?
It does.
It does, because that really opened the floodgates for kids to just pester their parents year-round about Christmas, because they had a special called Rudolph and Frosty's Christmas in July.
Right.
So from July on, kids are like, well, Santa is right. Am I being good? What am I getting for Christmas this year? We're not even in school yet. Do your summer reading. Read Les Miserables, ass face. That's how I. I'm a little stern when it comes to
the day when you have children.
Comes to parenting, which hopefully that is the real Armageddon. I want to talk about your guys' favorite apocalyptic movies, and I will start with Armageddon simply because. I mean, come on. Oh, listen to Steven.
In the
Sweet surrender. What a great song. Every like tough dude that loved Aerosmith in the 70s bitched about this song, but when you see an Aerosmith concert and they play this live, all the girls go crazy and the guys are like, now's my time to get laid. So if you're bitching about this song or Angel, save it, boys. Don't wanna close my eyes. I don't wanna fall asleep 'cause I miss you, baby. Tyler, don't want
Josh
is actually getting emotional here. Oh, boy.
You can't see it. He's just off camera. He's just off camera. He started singing with his eyes closed.
Yeah.
I did too. What I'd also like to point out is that I was singing into a microphone pen when I have a microphone.
No, I think you did it. I think you did it right.
You got to do what feels natural.
Yeah.
And on that note, guys, I'm going to have to depart the podcast just a little bit early. Here's what's going on with me. I got a flight to Newark, New Jersey, and then I got a flight from Newark. I have 25 minutes to catch my connection flight from Newark to Virginia. So here's what I need Schmoeville to do. If you're in the Newark area, just tweet me if you're around to pick me up, because Daddy is going to be doing some drinking if he misses this flight. Just put it out there.
All right.
All right.
You're not leaving because of something I said.
I'm not. No. I would want to stay with you forever, and I will go see The Hobbit with you.
We're doing it.
Yeah, we'll compromise.
In the new year.
We'll do 24 frames at my place.
Well,
Sherry's Berries, Dip 'em in chocolate.
Sherry's Berries.
I've seen how this Cinemax movie ends, and it's good.
At berries.com.
As serious as I can be, I want to thank Grae Drake for coming in and being the final guest that I got to entertain on the Schmoes Know movie show before the new year. We are going to have a live show on the 27th, but I will be out of town. I want to thank Josh.
We're not going to have a show next week.
There's no show next week.
Toad Hop is closed. We can probably do it ourselves on the sidewalk.
Breaking news, everybody.
Yeah, Toad Hop is going to take a nice, well-deserved Christmas vacation.
Okay.
And,
last guest of the year,
that's
bitches.
Right.
That's right.
Drake closes it
Thank you
down.
for having
Nobody
me, guys.
can follow. Thank you so much, Grae. We're still going to make each other producer come in and sit here for 2 hours, though, right? Just in the dark by himself on Thursday night. Good.
He owes you.
Jeff,
plan.
you've been great. Josh, the intern, has been a great addition to Schmoeville. Thank you so much for everything that you do. And yes, I'm talking about all those rides to the airport that apparently I'm not getting tonight. Kenny, you're one hell of a producer, and you're one hell of a good buddy. Thank you for everything you've done for me, for Christian. You keep us sane, or as close as you can hope to. Everybody out there in Schmoeville, very Merry Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Boxing Day. If it's your birthday in the next 10 days, happy effing birthday. Happy New Year's, everybody. I will see you on the other side. Armageddon, Ellis out.
Miss you, babe.
There he goes.
I hate it when he leaves. He always does that before the. He always leaves before the morning.
I got oddly emotional, like watching Liv Tyler hug Ben Affleck. It's kind of. All right, now that jerk's gone.
Armageddon is a great movie.
It absolutely. As far as end of the world movies, now of course there's the on the opposite coin. Everyone's going to go to the Deep Impact coin, but Armageddon clearly won that battle,
absolutely.
right? Am I wrong?
100%. Oh, yeah.
I like
100%.
Deep Impact. Taya Leone, Morgan Freeman as the president, right? That's great. But Armageddon had it all. It was like a good pop song.
It was
right,
just like we were listening to.
Well, exactly. It was a pop.
Match.
It was a 2-hour pop song.
Perfect marriage.
We're getting a lot of
Owen Wilson. I mean,
Buscemi.
Talent, the talent in that
Michael
movie
Bay was making good movies.
That's right. When it clinches it. Before he became a parody of himself.
Right,
yes.
and knowingly became a parody of himself. Also, of course, as far as end of the world, and that's hard to define. Apocalyptic movies.
Well, yeah, it's like, is it when the world is ending?
Right.
Is it right after?
Because then you got Mad Max for post-apocalyptic.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
My favorite of these movies, and there are a lot of them on my end because I love it. I love watching shit end. Okay. But 2012 is the mother of all apocalypse movies. Honestly, I love it. It's ridiculous on every single level. But my favorite moment, maybe in cinema, is when I'm going.
This is big. This is big.
It's huge.
All of cinema.
Danny Glover gets hit by a ship. He literally he's the president of the United States and gets hit with the John F. Kennedy ship. But it's an amazing moment because if you just stop for a second in all the excitement and you think about it for a minute, he actually is getting too old for this ship.
Gets hit right in the head face. He gets hit with an aircraft carrier.
It's amazing.
Ooh, that's your all-time of all moments in cinema. That's it. That's the moment for you. Danny Glover going, oh shit.
That's the one.
As that Independence Day is being tweeted about a lot too.
Great movie.
In the same vein, again, it's an alien invasion movie, but it's kind of got world-ending implications.
Can they make an Independence Day too? They're doing it.
Right.
Can they?
Oh, this is awkward. We already said goodbye, and now Mark Ellis just...
You guys talking about me?
We can't quit you, Mark.
I forgot what's on this card. It's very important. It's the best of the Schmoes movies 2012.
Oh.
Maybe The Hobbit is on here. I don't know.
Oh, my God. He came in here and took a dongle.
That's that moment where you say goodbye to someone at a party, and then you turn the corner, and they're there, and you both walk out to your cars. Like, heck. Let's take a call from Schmoeville and see what Schmoeville has to say about apocalypse movies, maybe Christmas movies. We want to see what is on your mind. Welcome from the 917. Welcome to Schmoeville.
Hey, guys. Matt Brown again.
Oh, Matt's calling back. Oh, you don't have Mark here to defend you, Matt.
What's up, Em?
What's up?
That's all right. I need Grae to defend me on this one.
Uh-oh. Go for it.
I literally only 2 hours ago finished watching 2012.
Yes, for the first time ever.
You were researching for the podcast.
No, I mean I was waiting 3 years for this night to watch this movie.
Oh my God!
Dedication,
Matt.
And that is a movie I believe
Are
someone.
you accepting applications to be your wife?
Love connection here on the Schmoes Know Podcast.
If you want it, I mean It just had everything. It was like every disaster movie ever made put into one.
Right.
And
it was like rolling.
Think about it. You've got the opening. You've got Earthquake. You've got Volcano. You've got Poseidon Adventure. You've got friggin' Titanic at the end.
Yes. Right. Roland Emmerich hates us all. He hates us all.
I don't even think it's fun. There were actually some actual merit, I think, that John Cusack and Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Who knows how to say
I think it was actually a pretty good movie, but let's face it, when you've got Woody Harrelson being hit by a volcano, it gets a little...
Right.
Well, he's just asking.
And I believe
for it.
2012 is a movie that someone was like, hey, studio executive, you know that prophecy about the world ending in 2012? Yeah, we want to make a movie about it. You got Go Picture. That's what I think. That's where it worked. That's where it happened. Thanks for the call, Matt. Bringing merit to the movie 2012. We got a tweet in from L.A. L'Equateur. I don't know how to say her name properly. You're going to have to school us on that. She calls in, she tweets in, and she does all of our, Matt does them too, but she does all of our Photoshop posters for Schmoeville. She says,
which are great.
May only be a miniseries, but Battlestar Galactica was awesome for post-apocalyptic movies. Juju, as she says, and also the series for kind of pre. If you look at it that way, pre-apocalyptic. Really
good point. I mean, Battlestar Galactica was so good and so hip that gay dudes told me about it.
And if you know if it hits there.
Right. I mean, think about it. It's like gay dudes are not like the biggest sci-fi market ever. That's a fact.
Right. Fact. Fact.
I might as well be in like marketing right now, like just telling you that. And so when the gay
know about
dudes,
the markets.
Right, when they were like, hey, we like boys, but we also like Battlestar Galactica. I was like, say what? I was like that.
And what do you think about these shoes, too?
Right.
We got
they told me they were ugly, so I threw them away. my
See?
shoes.
And then you got the leopard print dress instead.
Yes, I did.
We also got tweets in about 12 Monkeys, of course, which we have talked about on the show is on the time traveling podcast. Zombieland, which is, I think that counts. Again, we're talking about end of the world apocalypse themes, so that's kind of wide open. Josh, what do you have? Do you have anything?
I mean, when you come to like Independence Day in 2012, that's like the PG-13 fun. Let's watch the world kind of end.
Right.
I kind of like the more.
I feel
darker,
a little judged right now.
It's cool. I totally get it, but I like the darker, like The Road. I thought was a great one from a few years ago.
Absolutely.
Viggo Mortensen and
post-apocalyptic. I'd like to point out
those are post-apocalyptic. Although they do some flashbacks to like when he was with Charlize Theron. I like them darker. Like
what is it like?
Eli.
Charlize Theron taking a bath? Was that basically what that flashback was?
That's the great thing. I didn't read the book, but they don't really tell you exactly what happened.
Right.
And I really like that about it.
That's kind of a theme of the podcast. I didn't read the book, but I have an opinion on what should have gone in the movie.
And like you said, Ken, Road Warrior. I love Road Warrior.
All the Mad Max series.
I guess it's more for me. It's after the apocalypse and what happens, more than actual apocalypse.
Right.
You're a man of the future.
No one's mentioned Mel Gibson's Apocalypto yet, right?
That's a great movie, but takes place in the past. It's not really. I mean,
Again,
it's
it's
about
tough
the
to
Mayans,
define.
which I love. I'm going to watch it tomorrow.
That's what you're going to do.
Tomorrow,
Matt Brown's watching 2012 today, and you're like, I'm going to watch a subtitled Mel Gibson movie. All right, we're going to take another call from Schmoeville here, talking about apocalypse movies, Christmas movies. What you got? Oh, that went away quick.
Oh, how sad.
Let me try to get someone back in here. Sorry, technical difficulties here on the Schmoes Know Podcast. Calling from the 905, you're on Schmoes Know Podcast.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Hello.
What's going on, my friend?
Not too much. It's Sean. I was actually just calling in to say that The Road is probably my favorite post-apocalyptic movie. But I saw a movie earlier this year, Dread 3D. That takes place in a post-apocalyptic setting. But what I found really weird about it was they gave him like a fucking backdrop like 3 states long, yet they confined him to a building the entire movie.
That's probably budget.
Josh has the secrets to Hollywood.
Wait, so that kind of sounds like you didn't dig Dread 3D. Is that the case, Sean?
No, I couldn't stand it. I was wondering what your thoughts on it were.
See, no, I actually completely disagree with you because I was shocked, although, by the way, exact same plot as The Raid Redemption, which is a better film.
I love The Raid.
Right.
Yeah, it's so good, but I actually thought Dread was great.
A lot of people like Dread.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it was good.
I personally haven't seen it to weigh in. Also haven't seen Gremlins. Go figure. Nor Top Gun. Shoot me.
Seen Gremlins?
No, I know.
Dude, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, it ties into my childhood and my upbringing, and I'm still trying to make my mom proud. So I'm not going to see the movie about the little devils yet.
No, Gremlins could be apocalyptic also, because imagine if they didn't stop him.
Absolutely. Hey, thanks for the call, too. We're going to take another call here. But, gosh, now I lost my train of thought because I was getting yelled at about the Gremlins thing.
Dread.
We have a mutual friend, actually, Jack Conway, who loves Dread, says that is his favorite movie of 2012, just loves it.
Wow.
Maybe I'm paraphrasing a little bit, Jack. I apologize. But a lot of people, so I'm shocked to hear someone say, call up and mention it and say that they hated it, but or didn't like it.
I think a sadly ignored film of this year is Dread. I mean, it was so good. I thought Carl Urban was great. You don't even see his eyes. He's so captivating the whole time.
And Carl Urban's great. Lord of the Rings.
I thought the camera, I thought that it was incredible. The picture was gorgeous. I really liked the effects of it.
It was very well done. I enjoyed it in the slow motion. The way they played it in the film was just really cool.
There's a small drawback. It's just a lot of gunfire.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a small thing about it. But, I mean, ultimately, I really was jazzed about the movie.
Yeah, Matt Brown's...
Sean, sorry, we disagree on
Matt
that.
Brown's tweeting in, Dread 3D was in a surprising, awesomely amazing, stupid-ass movie.
Yeah,
amazing.
Exactly. Stupid-ass movie, but amazing.
Another one for apocalypse movie, War of the Worlds. And I guess you could go either one.
The original or Tom Cruise?
He says Spielberg at his most indulgent and cliched. This is that green dude, that _green_dude tweeting in. I actually liked the War of the Worlds Steven Spielberg.
I loved it.
Version. I got it replayed on HBO every Saturday morning for like 12 straight Saturdays, and it just was on, and I just grew to like it because of that.
Guess what is terrible about that film?
What's that?
Just like almost every Spielberg movie, the ending.
The ending, exactly.
Yes.
He blew it. He blew it.
Yep.
And here's where he blew it. He blew it when the goddamn teenage boy shows up alive. He blew it.
Spoiler.
Because...
Sorry.
Spoiler.
Hey, listen, the world's ending.
Hey, that's right, yeah.
You haven't seen it. You're fucked anyways.
That's
so
right.
I'm just doing you a favor. And he blew it because the movie could have been something emotionally powerful. It kind of held you in that spell of sadness.
You wanted the kid to die?
I did want him to die.
Kind of like I wanted.
Because he was a smug bastard.
Right, he was. And a Red Sox fan.
You see what he ran into? He ran into like a giant fireball. I was like, how did this guy survive?
Yes,
right.
yes,
and
when
then
he runs off.
It's like, okay, well, we've done some really intense stuff during this film. I think that the way we need to end this so people can go home feeling okay about themselves is that everybody's on the porch in nice sweaters drinking cocoa.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the sun shows up alive. And then,
Right. And then he walks out.
it's
Hey,
a great
Dad,
life.
I'll have that catch now.
Hey, boy, I sure hope that my mattress full of money doesn't get set on fire tonight because it's really comfortable.
Yeah. But I did like the Spielberg version up until the end when the aliens suddenly start going and they fall over and die. I thought it did a great job adapting a story we already knew. You know, you couldn't obviously have the Orson Welles effect from the whole world going crazy thinking it was real.
At Grauman's Chinese Theater in Los Angeles with that unbelievable sound system, the alien showing up is deafening. It's terrifying.
That sound, yeah.
It hits you. It hits you. I remember my pant legs because they were bootcut jeans at the time. Now it's skinny.
Yeah.
It's a different cut. But the thing, they were
Leopard paint.
shaking.
Yeah.
They were shaking with the force of the sound.
Oh, I love that scene, too, because the whole time I turn into a very vocal Tyler Perry fan. I'm at the screen yelling, "Everyone leave! What are you watching? The ground's cracking!"
Yeah.
Bitch, you crazy!
Why are you all
crazy.
watching?
Yeah.
Everyone stand back. No, everyone run to Georgia.
Do you know what movie made me do that yesterday?
What's that?
Jack Reacher.
Really?
OMGs.
Tom Cruise as Tom Cruise with a gun.
That movie is ridiculous. It is so cliche and
Really?
it's so stupid, but Tom Cruise pulls it off every single second. And the bad guy is played by Werner Herzog. And
Oh, really?
yes. And he's just, so it's like basically like the movie's cool and Tom Cruise is like tracking a sniper and you're really into it, right?
Okay.
I'm so into it and I was like, oh girl, do not go in that car, right? And then Werner Herzog emerges from the shadows and just for like 5 minutes is monologuing. Like,
He's making a
my
documentary.
milky eye makes it easy for me to see the cave paintings. I mean, it's like nonsensical, awesome Werner Herzog stuff, and that movie's great.
Okay, not Apocalypse nor
Nope.
Christmas,
Nope.
but a great Grae Drake exclusive there. Jack Reacher, go see it, kids. And we're going to take another call from Schmoeville as we wind up a great podcast here to close out 2012. Calling from the 585, you are on the Schmoes Know Podcast.
Hello, this is Patrick from New York again.
Patrick from New
Patrick.
York. Another return
Hello,
call.
you.
Well, go. The
I
floor is
have
yours,
a
Patrick.
Apocalypse movie.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
go for it.
I don't know if it counts, but it came out this year, and it might be my favorite movie of the year. And I don't know if you saw it, The Cabin in the Woods.
Oh my God!
Oh, yeah,
Unbelievable
okay.
film.
Love it.
Thanks,
Great
Patrick.
choice, Patrick. I love that movie. Anybody who hasn't seen it should immediately go out and give Joss Whedon and Drew Goddard their money.
Okay, we can assume that I am the one in the room who hasn't seen it because I haven't seen any movie, apparently.
You dickhead.
Yeah. Absolutely. Believe me, I'm getting the tweets on it right now about everything in my life.
So good.
That movie is awesome.
So good.
It's a great apocalypse movie. It's
I'm intrigued
so
now.
smart. It's so funny. It's
Okay.
so just everything about it. It's not a scary horror movie. It's more than that.
It's a comedy.
See,
almost.
I like
It's
Christian Harloff. I don't like scary movies because I get scared. So when it was marketed as a scary movie, I was like, I'm just going to pop in the VHS of Love Actually again. All right?
Here's the problem: you can't market that movie as a scary movie.
gotcha.
They just were trying something to get people to go see it.
You get people to go, okay, I'm
Give it a
now
shot.
I'm going to give it a Grae Drake shot.
Good.
And let's grab one more final call here for the night in Schmoeville, talking about apocalypse movies, or even if you got Christmas movies. Welcome to Schmoes Know Podcast. Hello.
Hey, this is Luca.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good. A really good post-apocalypse movie that I think is really underrated. Children of Men.
Oh,
Children of Men. Okay.
Clive Owen, love it.
Absolutely. Thanks for the call. Children of Men. Go ahead. Take the floor.
Unbelievable call. It's such a great story. It's so innovative. Clive Owen is a god among men, and that is a great film, and it ages really, really well.
It's one of my favorite, probably the past decade.
Yeah.
I'll go
Wow.
that far. I love that movie.
Josh the intern putting it up there.
Filmmaking wise and just story wise, everything in that movie just clicked.
Here's what we've learned tonight. Grae Drake's best moment of all cinema, Danny Glover dying by aircraft carrier. Josh the Intern, top movie of all time, top 10, Children of Men.
It's in my top 10 of the decade.
I'm getting too old for this ship. This ship. You're welcome, Schmoeville. Thanks for having me.
Well, we're winding down the show. It's been quite a full, exciting episode. I'm so glad to get to meet you this way. I've heard so much about you from mutual friends. And,
likewise.
No, you haven't. Don't lie. Christian and Mark never talk
yes, I
about
have,
me.
Stephen. I don't know what you're talking about. You're a god among men. You're just a mensch.
A mensch. I'm a good mensch. We're gonna have you back, of course, especially with the Oscars coming up, Golden Globes have been announced, but the ceremony coming up too. We'll bring you back for all that good stuff.
Assuming the world doesn't end tonight. Geez, we have a lot of talking to do, you guys.
I assume that if New York's still good right now, we might be all right.
Because New York's always the first place to go.
Absolutely, right? We're going to take a week off. We'll be back in 2013. Check out schmoesknow.com tomorrow for my power rankings and a lot of other great writing from Mike Beatrice, Brendan T. Gleason, Dan Farron, Joe Ruggiero, Mark Riley, and the like. For Christian Harloff, who's on a great deserved vacation, Mark Ellis flying in the Armageddon flight back to Virginia, and Grae Drake and Josh the Intern, I'm Ken Knapsack. Happy Christmas.
Merry Christmas.